Good afternoon. I'd like to bring the Board of Public Works and Utilities meeting to order. I show it is now 4 o'clock on Tuesday, January 6th, 2026. Call to order and roll call. Alder Wolf is here. Mayor Kim? Here. Alder Jim Benash?
Here.
Alder Larry Jurassic?
Present.
Jared Holter?
Here.
And Sabrina Steger?
Here.
Thank you. Number two, also in attendance is our city administrator, Rick Niemeyer, our city engineer, Kevin Schubert, and our director of public works, Jared Holter. And Sabrina is online. Is anyone else?
Jim Hansen, our fleet supervisor, lead mechanics here too.
Okay, perfect. So number two, consideration and action on minutes from the previous meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Alder Larry. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 3, public input, limited to 3 minutes per individual. If there's anyone either in chambers or online that would like to give public input at this time, they may do so. You have 3 minutes, and just please state your first and last name. So first call for public input. Second call. Third and final call. I'll move on to the printed agenda, consideration and possible action on the following items. Number 4 under Public Works, La Crosse County Hazard Mitigation Plan, including presentation from Mississippi River Regional Planning Commission. Jared?
I can start. We have Jack Zombrowski here from the Mississippi River Regional Planning Commission. They are working in concert with La Crosse County to update the hazard mitigation plan. This, Jack will go into this, but, this plan is, we need this for FEMA funding, also to be just a good document to be planning for any kind of disaster that we might see in our area. He'll go through some of the City of Onalaska items, but we're very fortunate in the City of Onalaska that our planning for a lot of these things is not what it is of some of our surrounding communities. But I'd invite Jack to come up to the podium and give us and actually if you can hit the button so it turns green.
Welcome.
Thank you. So as Jared said, this will be, this participation will qualify you to be part of the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. So projects that are included in this plan and you participating as a community make you eligible to apply for those grants if you have a mitigation project that in the plan that you would want to undertake. So that's kind of the most important part of it. And what I'm here today is to kind of get feedback from you. I have a 3-page report that'll be part of the plan, final. It just talks about some of the hazards that are identified in your community. And I ranked them 1 to 7 there. Just because it isn't on there doesn't mean that it isn't an important hazard, but this is the way FEMA ranked some of the hazards that your community faces. Then it is also a map to follow, and I just brought that to your attention to kind of have you proofread it, see if there's anything on there that is missing, anything that you think is a hazard that could be added, any problem spots that you say, oh, this, we always have water pooling here or something like that. And you don't have to give me these things today. You can think about them and then give it back to Jared. So what I'll do with this plan is, or this document is update it, give it to Jared. Jared's going to X out some of the projects that you've already completed and then update a new list. And then we'll put it in the plan and then I'll bring it to La Crosse County. It'll be approved and then come back to you as a body to approve and adopt as a resolution. So just a couple of questions I have for you today. I identified some vulnerable populations in the community, and these are kind of the important parts that I'll ask you today. Vulnerable populations, emergency response capabilities, and just to review your list of projects. So for vulnerable populations, and let me know if this doesn't make any sense, but elderly, 65 and older, which make up 11% of your population, low income and isolated residents, and then residents living in flood-prone areas or low-lying stormwater channels, and then all the mobile home parks, essentially. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mobile home parks. Does that sound roughly? I can give them to you, you can review this.
Yeah, that sounds about approximately correct.
Okay. And then the next page in this document is the list of projects from the last hazard mitigation plan. So Jared will go through later and X those off. And then the next page is just an updated list, which I just have a couple things on there. Just to bring to your attention, I put on there tornado and high wind shelter. These are just suggestions. And then NOAA all hazard weather radios. Those are just kind of things from other communities that seem pretty general. So as I said, again, some of the hazards that are on here are your top hazards. There'll be other ones that we'll add in as sort of a generalized, all La Crosse County faces that, let's say, man-made hazards, could be bioterrorism, cyber terrorism, things like that. Those will be included in the plan also, but not really specific to Onalaska. So essentially, again, the important parts are vulnerable populations, updated list, kind of, and then your ranking of the hazards. So I just ranked those 7. We can move those around to how you see differently, but
And those are on page 5 in our packet.
the hazards,
Yeah, the hazards, yep.
isn't it page 2?
5.
In our packet, it's page 5.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Page 2 of
Yep.
this document.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. So those are hail, landslide, tornado, cold wave, strong wind, heat wave, and drought are the ones 7 you identified.
And also I brought a bigger map. If there's any notes you want to make on there or anything you want to look at in there. The map that I brought doesn't have mobile home parks on it. We just found that layer to add to the map, so that will be updated on there. What else do I see that's? We'll also be meeting with the school districts. We're going to meet with all the school districts in the county. Because in our preliminary survey, active shooter was identified as one of the hazards. So we're going to go out and spend some time with the school districts to get more details on those. And essentially, that's about it. So
I know
you'll see this document again. You'll get another chance to review it. But what questions would you have for me?
the one that I would add to the 7 would be an ice storm.
Sure.
I think
Yep.
that is probably one of I look at a biggest threat because it would be citywide and it would probably be region-wide. So it would put a strain on resources and just, if we're talking an actual very predominant ice storm where we get, half an inch of ice or something where power lines come down, trees come down, it would be, citywide and also in the area. So even trying to get resources from other communities or contractors would be very difficult. So I would add that one and actually rank it toward the top, but that's probably the one that I identified. So
What number would you put it at? Just,
any one of the top 3, I would say, is where I would put it. I guess it could be debatable and,
And, anywhere in Wisconsin, flooding is probably the #1 risk, but that is not on this list for some reason. I don't know why. None of the communities that ranked highly, which seems strange, but that was always usually down there at 9 or 10. But if you think that's higher, or, roughly down there.
I mean, we could add flooding. The good thing are FEMA mapped flooding areas, like along the Mississippi River. We have the Lauderdale area that's relatively small geographic and population area of our community. And then we've got some areas, very small area along the La Crosse River and a little bit along Sand Lake Road, Sand Lake Creek. Really, as far as long-term flooding, our community is at a lower risk than some of our neighbors. But we do have areas that have flash flooding. As we've seen in the past, we have a few areas in the city where the storm sewer system can get overwhelmed. So flooding should be on the list. I guess I would not probably put high on our list, but once again, this is a document for all to give input on.
Mayor Kim?
Wouldn't there be I don't know if you're listing all of them, but wouldn't there be an opportunity that there would be like a forest fire or a prairie fire?
Yep, That will be in the general plan, but it wasn't really specifically very high to the city of Onalaska. So
This
Like
is-
it would be more likely than a landslide.
actually, landslides are that's one of those surprising things. You know, you don't have a lot of steep slopes in Alaska, but you do have some near the river.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So there's always those things you don't think about. If that water gets saturated, it can break loose. Like we had back in 2008 and 11 and what, 17, 18? So, not that wildfires don't happen, it just wasn't ranked highly for the community of City of Alaska. But if you think it should be on there, then we can add it on there.
and we will, once I get the document and send out, I'll send it to all the department heads, including police and fire and parks and planning and everyone to give input on, you know, if there's something that they would think of that maybe we wouldn't too, so.
And you know what, we have the survey, we did a preliminary survey, but we asked that you could take it again. I could send it to Jared. And it just takes a couple minutes. You can rank all the hazards. And then we could see kind of a follow-up as to where that would land on. But I will add wildfire on there too, to the list.
Alder Leary.
Thank you, Chair. I was thinking the same thing as fire. But the other thing I thought about was, we have several railroad tracks that go through town and everything like that. With some of the container, say, go into some of the railroads, and there was just an accident not too long ago that basically closed down a city for quite a while, so. that's
Yep,
been a
and I
while.
did mention that in the plan that it's, you know, you have the two transportation corridors coming through town. The primary accessibility hazard is flash flooding. The mentions here, the critical transportation corridor due to the intersection of major roadways, I-90 through the city and major highways such as US 53 and 35. Serving primary north-south to La Crosse here, given the city's location between bluffs and rivers, major transportation lifelines are susceptible to disruption.
I would agree with Larry, though, in talking to the fire staff over the years, the railroad is one of their highest concerns. I don't know where if that would be a county-wide note in your plan, or if that would be our specific, I guess wherever it would fall, but,
Well, it is specific to your community because you do have that.
yeah.
Now, a lot of the outliers don't have those big rail lines going through, so,
Well, we got the rail yard not that far, but it's basically on the city
yeah.
limits between us and La Crosse, so.
I'll add that into the list. Did you get a chance to look at the map online? It is a very busy map. There's just a lot of stuff in there. But if you have a look at it and you see anything on there that needs correction or updating or that doesn't make any sense, just let Jared know and I can make those updates.
One thing I noticed on our page, let's see, our page 13 of the packet, it's your table XXX updated dairy mitigation project list. And the first item on there is tornado/high wind shelter at mobile home parks. The district that I represent in the city of Alaska, second district, has a very large number of this representation. And if I get any calls from mobile home parks, it's always about when it's a really bad storm. And where do they go? Because I have yet to have a call where someone, I mean, I don't have all of these here, but I have yet to hear of if any of them have any type of a shelter.
Mhm.
So this would be, it says $25,000 to $150,000 per unit. So looking at installing some type of a shelter for people, is that the purpose?
Yeah, so-
That's the thought, okay.
And I'll just say, anything in here doesn't commit you to doing it.
Right.
You know, it makes you eligible to apply for a grant for it. So the tornado shelters are kind of a sticking point. They're very popular, but they're on private property, you know, and then, so you are using public funds to get that, to supply that safety item. But they are very popular and they're very needed. So, but they, as you can see, they vary greatly between 25,000 to 150 per unit. somewhere down the road, you can apply for a grant for that and you might get it and then you can install one of those.
So two things come to mind. I'm sure we could probably pull the population, but I'd be curious to know just what percent of our city of Onalaska population actually reside in.
Yeah,
You know,
mobile home park.
there's quite a few people. I know I've knocked a lot of doors. So, secondly, even though these, mobile home parks are privately owned, would there be grants available to bring those owners in also? Like maybe, 50-50 split or something? Because for me, I would personally would like to see some participation, if at all possible, from private homeowners to
Yeah.
protect Onalaskans.
And I will say that, the grant funding is maybe not even around anymore, but it could be out there. It may be in the future.
Yeah.
It's called the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. And I think it was defunded.
Yeah.
But it's not unheard of that would be put on private property because all those mobile home parks are private property. Now, maybe you could get the owner to contribute some towards it, but it is a pretty high priced item.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but
Thank you.
I will say another hazard mitigation grant plans hazard mitigation plans I've done. It's a very popular item. So
I bet. Do you know if there's any like in the city of La Crosse?
any
Like
of those
shelters? Yes.
I don't think so. You know, Major, I haven't seen.
I
it.
don't
Pierce
know of
County did
any.
Put one in their plan. So I think they will
I-
pursue that because it is a big.
Yeah, I know a lot of campgrounds double the bathroom. They always make the bathroom typically
Yep.
tornado proof, so then that's the shelter area, but you need a bathroom anyway at a campground, so it kind of doesn't take a lot to make it tornado proof. But I don't know of any in the area. This is something obviously you see way more Kansas, Nebraska. You see way more down there than we do around here, but yeah.
If you want to see what one looks like, go to state parks. They're like concrete slabs. They're like a little Flintstone house out of concrete slabs. And it's essentially a bathroom. That's what they use for their tornado shelters at the parks.
I was just thinking about a Roe Park bathroom.
The pre-built one?
Yeah. I mean,
That's what the state parks uses it.
yeah,
It's
that would make sense. Any other questions of Mr. Jack today?
I guess the only thing I'd say is if anybody has any items they'd want to discuss further or whatever, you can contact me and I can pass it along to Jack and then we can see what, obviously we'll bring it back once more and then we'll have a resolution with it at that time. So.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in today and sharing your work.
Thank
Very
you.
much appreciated.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay, item number 5, mechanic truck build bid. Jared.
Thank you. On your desk tonight, I did hand out an updated 2026 mechanic truck build. The only thing different than what's in your packet is the recommend for award. We did have this bid open December 18th at City Hall. We did have 3 bidders that are on your list today. Once staff actually reviewed the bids, they actually went and looked at the last one last Friday, tried to look at all these different manufacturers in person. This is to replace our existing 2005 mechanics truck with a tool truck / mechanic truck. Mechanic truck is typically built a little bit heavier, sturdier than a tool truck. So this will be replacing a 20-year-old unit. We did have 150,000 in the equipment budget for 2026 under water, sewer, and storm sewer. So it's out of the utilities. Staff is recommending award a bid on today's handout to RBL Incorporated for the base build with options A, B, D, and H for a total of $156,255. RBL is speccing a maintainer brand box and crane. If you look, the options A, B, D, and H are all included in their bid, so that did not raise the bid. We did also look at the utility sales and service, the Knapheide Staff actually visited that one last week, and the maintainer was built better and had more, just a better unit. They feel it's going to last longer. If we take the utility sales and service and add the base build plus the options, including the aluminum body, because the maintainer comes with a partial aluminum body, so it'd be fairly equivalent, we would be at $156, $242. So you can see they're within like $13 of one another with what we would recommend. So it's basically cost-wise, it's a toss-up. Monroe Truck and Equipment did not bid a whole variety of options that we really would like to see in the truck. So, and that is a body that is just a standard factory body. So staff does feel RBL Incorporated, the maintainer is the unit. It will be a 20-year unit. I did talk to Sabrina and the utilities, the water sewer and storm sewer utility. The 6,000 will not be a strain on the utility to split that extra cost. You know, we actually received budget numbers last July of, well, actually July of 20, you know, before July actually for the 2026 budget. So just with the price increases, tariffs on steel and things, that's part of the reason it went up. If we do have any specific questions, I got Jim here if you wanted to shoot anything out, but that's where we're at.
So quick question. So your staff is recommending to grant you the RBL Inc. With a base build plus options A, B, D, and H. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And that amount is the 156, 255?
That is correct.
Perfect, thank you. I'm sorry. I thought you were raising.
I can make that as a motion.
Okay. I will second that. So motion by Mayor Kim, second by Alder Diane to award the 2026 mechanic truck build bid to RBL Inc. in the amount of 156,255, so $156,255, which includes the base build, option A, B, D, and H. Discussion.
On my sheet, it doesn't have option H.
On the bottom.
Bottom.
I ran out of room.
Oh, here we are.
Yep, ran out of room. Sorry, it's a little,
Confusing.
not the.
Keep it
not the-
bigger though,
I-
not making it smaller.
It was going between that and going smaller, and I know
Thank you.
a lot of times the bigger print is easier to read, so.
But it doesn't have an amount in there.
It doesn't change, no, the maintainer is all, it's all included. They had all the options we wanted included in their base bid.
Thank you. I see that.
Yes, that's why I confirmed, because there was a lot of numbers.
Yeah, they're, yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's great.
Chair, what was the final number?
Final number is $156,255.
It was on the bottom of the sheet, right here.
The one I handed out tonight.
Is it the 250? Oh, wait a minute.
Oh. Yep, it's on the bottom of the
Oh,
handout
the
tonight.
152,379.
Got it.
No, 156,255.
Oh, okay, because I'm hearing, okay, so
Yep.
156,255,
Yep.
that was the motion. Got it.
Thank you.
Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Thank you for coming in today. Item number 6, 2025 Sand Lake Road Streetlight Project bid. Jared.
Also tonight, we handed out the bid for the 2025 Sand Lake Road Streetlight Project. Kevin had this bid opening on December 30th. We did only receive one bid from Pellinger Electric. The bid tab is handed out tonight. Pellinger Electric has done multiple projects for the city, such as this. The bid for the project came in at $161,763.69. This is well under what our estimate was. We actually had approximately 260,000 from the estimate from the engineer, and we had 300,000 in the capital improvement budget. So they bid the fixtures about half of what our estimate was, but we didn't know with the tariffs and everything going on, but we did receive a very favorable bid. Even though we only have one bid, staff is recommending to award it to Pellinger Electric for the bid amount.
Cool.
This is a project that'll be funded using the TID $6. So the capital, it wasn't the capital improvement budget, but TID $6 will be paying for the project.
I move we approve the bid to Pelinder Electric for 161,763.69.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Alder Larry to award the 2025 Sand Lake Road Streetlight Project to Pellinger Electric in the total amount of $161,763.69 to be paid by TID 6. Discussion. Kevin?
Yeah, just for the record, we did have 3 contractors take out plan on our plan holders list. So we did have multiple contractors, only one contractor did submit a bid. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Great, thank you. Quick question, Jared and or Kevin. Is this more the decorative street lights, if I remember correctly? Because that's been the request, and plus it's $10 too.
Yes, this project is basically just an extension, right? There are currently streetlights on Sand Lake Road from Riders Club going north. So this is just the second phase of that, taking those from where they end currently at Rolling Oaks all the way up to County S.
And then that's where the project ends then.
Correct.
Perfect, okay. And any other discussion, questions, concerns? Hearing none. Oh, Alder Larry?
Yeah, was there any reason the other companies didn't give it?
Do not know, Larry. So,
Okay.
but that's common, right? A lot of times contractors will take out plans just to see what kind of work is involved, and then schedules, other factors outside of our control. They decide not to bid. So almost every project we bid has contractors that take a look at it, right, and then decide not to bid on it.
I mean, we put a bid in for that amount and it came out half. I'm not complaining.
Oh, did we vote? I don't remember.
No.
Oh, we need to vote.
Okay,
Yep.
any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 7, 2026 Winter Salt Week.
So I'll let Kevin take this one.
I can take this one. Yeah, thank you, Chair. So in your packet tonight is just a reminder and getting the word out for some upcoming the Winter Salt Week. This is bringing this forward as part of our MS4 permit for our stormwater utility, right? Just trying to keep the information going and education about currently in that field, smart salting, right? Using the adequate amount of salt needed to clear and maintain streets, sidewalks, right? So we don't have extra salt that can run off, right, and get into our lakes and streams, right, and add chloride levels. So this is something I received from our DNR staff member who assists us with their MS4. So just a couple of things down there. There is the QR code, just some webinars. Some of it's for, will be for more municipal work. Some of it is for private residential, especially maybe the Wednesday, excuse me. So just wanted to get it out, have it available, right? It is later in the month, right, is the last month of January. But as you can see, there'll be every day there's a different webinar about smart salting.
Great, thank you, Kevin. Alder Larry.
Yeah, Kevin, is there anything as far as advertising like the bulletin board outside or?
No, but we could have that out there, right? You know, and maybe put something on the website. We could definitely add that in the coming weeks. So it's ready for residents who may be coming into City Hall or using the website could see it.
That in the senior center, I think you'd put up any advertising there.
Yep. Absolutely.
Or maybe Facebook.
Yeah.
You should,
Absolutely, Mayor.
you should put it on your Facebook.
So let's see. Thank you again, Kevin. Item 8, change order number 3 for the 2025 miscellaneous concrete project.
In your packet tonight on page 21 is change order number 3 for the 2025 miscellaneous concrete project. This would be a net increase of $6,343.75 in the contract. We did actually use more black dirt on the project and disturbed more area. A lot of it was due to the tree roots, trying to get the tree roots out and things like that at the various sidewalk locations. That's just, it's good. It's within what we had budgeted. So this is the last change order for this project to close it out. So
I move we approve change order 3 for the miscellaneous concrete project. The amount is $6,343.75.
Second,
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Alder Larry to approve change order number 3 for the 2025 miscellaneous concrete project. And the net increase is for a total of $6,343.75. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item number 9, Grandview Boulevard Water Main Leak Repair Alternatives Discussion.
Christmas Eve, actually the day before Christmas Eve, our staff in the morning got a call. We noticed on our SCADA system that the Grandview Boulevard pressure zone was, booster station was running more than it should be. Sent staff out, tried to locate water leak. Spent the morning and part of the afternoon and still hadn't really located it for sure. Knew the approximate area. Kind of wanted to give it, let it go overnight and let it come up. And so the next day at 6 a.m., staff came in on Christmas Eve and fixed the water leak on Grandview Boulevard. So if anybody's been up there, it's one lane right now. We're gonna try our technology here and see if this is gonna go. Oops,
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
that's
I'm not.
not what we wanted. Well, Sabrina, you're gonna be out of luck. It's not gonna show up on the. But anyways, we
Okay.
had the water leak. We're going to,
I could see it originally when you put it up.
there we go. Okay, so the Grandview Boulevard area, if you know where Coach Lake Greens is, this is by East Main by Cooley Golf Bowl. The golf course is to the north of this, so this is just the general area. The general area is the red water main that you see. The Coach Lake Booster Station is at the intersection of Fairway Court and Grandview Boulevard, right in this area. And it serves this whole upper zone has the red main shown. The yellow box is approximately the area that the water main leak was. Typically a water main leak, you think of something that's 20 foot by 20 foot, but as you're going to see from a couple of these one of the pictures, it actually undermined the road because that road's at 12% grade, so it undermined the road before we could get it fixed. We are looking at a larger project to do some repairs that I'll get into once we show you what actually happened in the green. So this is going to be a video. There's a video shot. That's under the road. That's the undermining of the road. So if you see that, that's the undermining of the road for probably 40 feet. So that is what we're facing with repairing the road. So if you go out there right now, you can see a graveled patch, but there's much more road that's going to have to get removed. This is a video of the actual water main leak. So that tube is from our Vactor machine. And then you'll see that there's a copper water service and a sanitary sewer service right at that location too. So that's the water leak that we eventually found. That's the hole in the pipe that we eventually found. This is the pipe that we took out of the ground. So that pipe should all be black like you see it. And you see that silver area getting down, it's actually down to the inner coating of the pipe. So we actually washed off the pipe, so a lot of it flaked off. So it didn't come out of the ground like this, but once we actually cleaned it and took off the loose materials and washed it, that's what we had. It's another picture of the pipe. One of the interesting things when we were out there is obviously it's Christmas Eve. We did receive some calls from individuals wondering when their water was going to be on. They didn't actually get the water back on until about 1:30 in the afternoon. So it was an all-day event out there. We had about 6 staff members out there. multiple people stopped and said thank you. I mean, it was actually kind of a neat neighborhood thing. And we actually had one neighbor that actually stopped and gave out cookies, and their children made a picture of the crew. So in my years here, this doesn't happen very often, but it happened here. So I just wanted to highlight that the neighborhood really took heart and really put up with a bad situation for us. So it's pretty neat. Our staff was pretty touched on what they were able to see out there. So
Any other day but Christmas Eve, right? I mean, it's,
yeah.
yeah.
Garrett, the pipe itself, was that, how old was it and what kind was it?
So that pipe was installed in 1986. You go up that hill and you're in limestone shale. And when the pipe was installed, we don't feel the contractor probably took out enough rock and they didn't put any bedding sand in. So it was laid right on the shale and back filled with the shale. And that limestone is reacting with the pipe partially, and then partially part of it is the just movement of the freeze thaw will also, put a hole in the pipe.
So it wasn't a chemical reaction, it was,
Kind of combination
Bit
of
of
both.
grinding.
I think the limestone is reacting with the ductile iron pipe also, and we have all ductile iron pipe in our community, and ductile iron pipe is a very sturdy product, and that's part of the reason we specify it versus plastic pipe. But this is one instance where we actually have this in our 5-year capital improvement plan to replace this going up the hill because we've had problems with it. So looking at what's there, we got a couple options. If you remember that green area, right now we've got down to one lane still, trying to figure out what to move forward with here, and we wanted to wait till we got back for the new year to do cost estimates and things. But we probably have a couple of things here. Right now, we'll have to manually operate the fire pump for that area. So staff is worried about, we really don't want to operate the fire pump any more than we have to right now because we don't want to have another leak come out.
could you explain a fire pump? I'm not,
So that booster station, so the area in red that you saw on that map,
Yeah.
our water system where we're at City Hall and the normal zone uses the reservoirs to feed it. That area is higher in elevation. You go up that hill, it's quite a bit of elevation. So that booster station has what's called a jockey pump in it that keeps the pressure at 80 to 100 pounds all the time. And then there's a service pump in it that actually, 2 service pumps that actually, so if there's a lot of use, like a sprinkler system or something going, the service pump goes off. And then if there's fire demand, so if fire hydrant gets open, like if we're flushing or something, we can serve about 650 gallons a minute out of those fire hydrants. But that fire pump will turn on, and there's a lot of force, a lot of water hammer, a lot of going on when that fire pump comes on. So if we have a fire up there right now, we've got it where we'll have to manually operate the fire pump. Fire department knows that right now. We really don't want to do a lot of testing on it because we don't want, if it's going to fail, we don't want to be out there doing another day long digging up the street. So we're still working through those options right now, trying to figure out what to do. So looking at the undermined street and looking at that area, we've got a probably $50,000 to $75,000 street repair we've got to do at a minimum, whether we just fixing the street that we have out there now. It's buckled right now. It's undermined. We're going to have to take it all apart. And then, or the capital improvement project, which we've got in green for that area, we do have in the 5-year plan, but do we speed up that plan? Since we got to spend the money to fix the road anyways, now the time to just bite the bullet and fix that water main. From my frontline maintenance staff, when they had to be out there digging it and what they found, they're very worried about it, which looking at that condition assessment of what they found, I would concur. So we did a cost estimate of putting a water main in under emergency conditions to fix that area. We did have quite a bit of, we had a temporary patch in the street and things like that, but it's going to be over $400,000 to put the water main in. You know, we can bid that project out. We could do emergency repair where we can do something. We feel we could probably bid it out and have it ready for the March meeting. You know, have it done in April and repair the street in probably middle of May by the 1st of June. But, you know, it's going to be a little heartache for the people that live up beyond there because they're going to be driving past that for the next 3 or 4 months. We're just getting this out right now. I think I'm going to put this on the council agenda for action item, and then we can discuss it further. And even as staff, we haven't got this fully vetted yet. We haven't got to the point of what our firm recommendation is, even with the cost, trying to balance costs and trying to balance service and trying to balance fire needs, and we're trying to get all those together. So you know, we've had short week here trying to get ready, so trying to, you know, get with staff and get a full, but I think we'll put this on the council agenda. If Rick, you're okay with that going forward, and we'll have hopefully a better recommendation at the council meeting on where we move. But I don't know, that the short slideshow is pretty telling on what we have. If we when we put the new pipe in, we'll use ductile iron again, but we'll wrap it with plastic, and we'll actually do a better job of putting sand bedding in below the pipe, around the pipe, and above the pipe. So the shale won't have a, you know, it won't have a chance to get next to that pipe. So
The area that you showed us an underlining area where the problem exists. If this pipe was put in the same way throughout the entire area, are you going to be looking at the whole area instead of just a section of it?
we really feel it's the area that we have outlined in the green box that was on your map is the area where the shale is present. That's a lot of the worst area where the rock is present. That is, we feel is having effects on the pipe structure that you saw. So we're going to try and get the worst of the worst. If we are digging and find we have to keep going, we might keep going, and it'll just be a change order once we get, but we'll have bid prices and big costs and things like that for if we did have to do another 100 feet or 200 feet. But I don't think I'm relatively sure it's not in the lower part of the subdivision at all. 'Cause that's a different soil structure down there. And the upper piece where we've really found the problems when we've had these water leaks has been on the steep section of the hill. That's where our problems have been. We haven't, as far as I know, I don't know of any water leaks actually up on top of the hill itself. So, but we've had multiple water leaks on the steep section where we had the water leak just now.
Mayor Kim?
So where the leak was, you just put a new section of pipe in that one section?
Yeah, a lot of times we try to put a wrap around it. Because it's an easier fix just to wrap it and cinch down the bolts, and it keeps that. But the hole was so bad and the pipe section was so bad that we actually had to take it out. And it was so close to the spigot, the bell and spigot of that you saw. We took the whole section out and replaced it with a section of pipe.
Is the lower section where some of the fill from the lake came, or did it not go that far?
Didn't go that far, no. The lower section of Coach Light would be a sand starting to get into the clay. You know, you get down by East Main, you're probably a little bit more sandier, finer soil than you would be going up the hill.
Just remember I'm bringing the dredge sand up.
Yeah, they didn't use any of it over there. They used it on the freeway, but they didn't use it for the subdivision.
Alder Larry?
Yeah, Jared, since the budget's pretty much made for next year, are you gonna be able to swap one of the other projects out for this one, or are we looking at adding?
Sabrina, you hear that? He might be trying to get under our discussions here.
Yeah, were you listening to our phone call today?
So we are.
Think alike.
If we would move forward with a larger fix, if we do we do a fix where we fix the street or whatever, I would envision that coming out of the water utility and it'd be an expense to the water utility. If we're looking at doing a larger project, what we could do is in your 2026, 2027 capital improvement budget, are proposing the mortgage revenue bond to do a variety of projects. And a couple of those projects, such as Third Avenue and the La Crosse Country Club, French Road, Crestwood Booster Station, interconnection water main are not going to be bid until 2027. So we could use the money that we'd have for that project to fund it, and then we'd have to fund through the capital improvement budget again for the water project to balance it out. It would almost be like I would go back to a few months ago when we were going through the capital improvement budget, where we had the general fund for 27 for the projects. We're kind of committing to those projects. It would be the same thing. We'd be committing to rebond that money to complete the projects that we kind of said we're going to do, such as whichever one, Third Avenue or the Country Club water main crossing.
Or Jared, and I know we haven't all had a chance to talk about this, but my other thought was, could we amend the 2026 budget since we haven't bonded for anything yet, to add an additional project? Bayard's going to come in February, but you know, if the council would agree to that, if that's the decision we end up making, we could make a motion to adjust the CIP to add this in.
So would that be ready for next week then, for council, or we look at another month out?
I think we'll confer on that and see if we can leave the council agenda item open enough that we could do that. The only thing is we'd have to check with legal counsel, Sabrina, to make sure the public, in case we'd have to have another public hearing or how that would
Right.
affect the capital improvements budget. But that is a possibility also.
Quick question I have is, so we just saved whatever the dollar amount was on a bid.
Two different
Well, that's right.
funding.
Yeah,
The TID funding is different
Yeah.
and it's general fund versus water. So
Third Avenue is never going to get done. It's not funny. I'm just saying, it's not funny.
it will.
Yep.
Yes, Mayor Kim?
Okay, thank you for sharing the information, and I think we need to right now focus on figuring out what's going on over there and what the best next step is. And then once we know that, we can figure out, we'll be able to come up with a way to fund it.
I'd agree. We'll have this as an agenda item for the council and have hopefully a more firm staff recommendation and what our pros and cons of our options are.
Right, so we won't be able to leave it because it'll keep leaking. For sure.
Will be on non-consent for next week's council.
Yeah, it'd be on a regular agenda item, correct.
I knew when I saw it on the agenda, I thought, oh, this is serious.
Well, we didn't have
To
the,
discuss, it's like, okay, this is bad.
well, and we didn't have the
Right, yeah.
PowerPoint done and to put slides in the agenda. So it was a suspense item. It's a new year. It's a suspense item.
I saw Grandview and I thought of the steep hill. That's all. It's like, here we
At
go.
least it's lower, right? But yeah, it's, you know, and we certainly we'll talk about more next Tuesday at council, but have we ever done like maybe, you know, once a decision has been made, have we ever like, you know, put out like maybe a letter or some notification like to that subdivision or something?
Yeah, I think once we have a direction and what we're gonna do, we can send a communication out to that neighborhood so they're not in the dark. Cause it's been it's Christmas Eve, so they've been trying to drive past those barricades for almost 2 weeks now. So I'm sure there's some anxiety in the neighborhood on what's gonna happen when. Is it gonna be all winter? Is it gonna be a week? Is it gonna be, so
I think it's just always good to inform them.
Yep.
So they're not thinking that we're just sitting on it, but we're working as fast as we can, and there's a lot of steps to go through. So I'm hopeful that we're able to push it along as fast as we can, because it's obviously something that needs to be taken care of. Thank goodness for SCADA, huh? So we'll move on to item 10, pay estimates. Strand Associates, Inc., MSA Professional Services, Inc., Short Elliott Hendrickson, Inc., State of Wisconsin Department of Transportation, Fowler and Hammer, Inc., and any other contractor developer. On page 23 and 24, dated January 6, 2026, there are 13 pay estimates to be approved tonight.
I move that we approve the 13 pay estimates on the summary dated 1/6/26.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Kim, second by Alder Larry to approve those 13 pay estimates dated January 6th, 2026 in our packet. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of said motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Moving on to utilities, there is nothing, so adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Alder Jim, second by Alder Larry to adjourn
4:50.
at 4:51. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone, for coming in tonight.